Hi guys, Paige here from Hawke Optics. Today we're going to head out into the field to look at how to calibrate your Hawke Crossbow scope to the speed of your crossbow. The main thing you'll need to know to get started is the manufacturer's advertised speed of your crossbow. So you've got your crossbow scope mounted and you've adjusted the ocular focus. The first thing we need to do is set the scope to the manufacturer's advertised speed of your crossbow. The crossbow I have in front of me is 335 feet per second, so I'll adjust the magnification ring to the 335 feet per second marking. Initially, place a target on the backstop at about 10 yards. Personally, I like using foam block targets like you see here. It's important to note that you don't want to use your broadheads for calibrating or target practice. Get target tips that are the same grain as the broadheads you plan to use when hunting. Take a shot using the center cross of the reticle. Remove the dust covers from the windage and elevation turrets and make suitable adjustments to bring the point of impact closer to the point of aim. For example, if the arrow has landed lower than required, rotate the elevation turret counterclockwise to raise the point of impact. A high impact point requires a clockwise adjustment. Both turrets move the point of aim 1/2 MOA per click, which is equal to 1/2 inch at 100 yards or 1/5 inch at 40 yards, 1/10 inch at 20 yards, and 1/20 inch at 10 yards. After zeroing at 10 yards, move back to a distance that matches the center aim point on your scope. This may be 20 yards or 40 yards, depending on which crossbow scope you own. Fire another shot and continue adjusting the turrets until you are zeroed at that new distance. When the scope is zeroed, replace the dust covers on the turrets. Final calibration of the scope to your bow is done only with the scope zoom ring. Move to a distance of 50 yards from the target. Using the 50-yard marker in the scope, fire the crossbow at the target. If the arrow impacts the target high, turn the speed selector higher. The next arrow fired will impact the target lower. If the arrow impacts the target low, turn the speed selector lower. The next arrow fired will impact the target higher. We do this to fine-tune any differences in scope magnification and crossbow speed. It should be noted that adjusting the speed selector also adjusts the magnification. Once the 50-yard marker is sighted in, the scope is now calibrated to your crossbow and all of the other aiming points will be correct. At this time, if you own a scope with a locking zoom ring, you should lock it to ensure the scope and crossbow remain calibrated to each other. On scopes without a locking zoom ring, some people like to make a small mark next to the speed indicator. This helps avoid recalibration if the zoom ring is accidentally adjusted. Now let's head back to the studio. Now you're ready to head out into the field with the confidence that when the time comes for that important shot, you know you're hitting your mark. Don't forget to like this video if you found it useful, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. To keep up to date with everything Hawke, you can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.